All right, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream. Dun 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 dun. Okay, we're good. Sorry. All right, guys. Today we are actually going to do a review of a very I don't know if it's I would say prestigious game, but it is actually a pretty prestigious game now. It was created by Green Ronin Publishing, I believe in let me get the exact dates for you guys. Um, it was designed by Steve Kinson, and it was actually published by Ronin Publishing, approximately between the years of 2002 and 2013. The Deluxe Handbook, which was the last handbook that they actually published for this game, called Mutants and Mastermind, was actually, I believe, in 2013. But Mutants and Mastermind's been around since 2002. Actually, I'm going to look that up, just make sure I got those dates right. I mean, I did look those up, but the thing you guys have to understand is Mutants Mastermind 1E, actually, we won't be doing that on. We're doing it on the Deluxe Edition, which is actually, you could call it, it's not 3E or 5E. It's, I think that would be considered 3.5E, because they did have first, second, and third, and then they made the Deluxe. The Deluxe was actually everything that they were rolling into, basically like everything that they did for third edition, and then they added some more stuff into the actual Deluxe Edition handbook. So let's see, Mutants Mastermind first edition came out. Let me see, release date. Oh yes, December 4th, 2002. That was a great Christmas present for a lot of mini gamers. A lot of mini gamers, because that's basically, yeah. So the first edition of Mutants Mastermind featured art direction and graphic design by Super Unicorn. The setting was originally known as Century City, but was later changed to Freedom City. The Mutants Mastermind have released, including a second edition in 2005 and a third edition in 2011. And the latest edition, Mutants Mastermind 3E Superhero, and then of course the deluxe book, I believe, in 2013. Let me make sure I got that right. And and the good news is the deluxe book has everything you'll need. The Mutants Mastermind Deluxe Hero Book was actually published in September 12th, 2023. Ow! I thought it was way before that, which is essentially Mutants Mastermind 3rd edition, but then they actually had a book. Oh, I did not know that. I thought it was before that. Don't think I know the one. Huh. Okay, so basically, if you guys would want to play superheroes, here it is for you. That's exactly what it is. Let me pull up a screen share for you guys. We're going to share a little bit of the book as we thumb through it, of course. And, oh boy. There we go. Look at that. Mutants Mastermind Deluxe Heroes Handbook. I actually purchased an official copy for myself from Green Ronin Publishing on drivethrurpg.com. Definitely, if you make sure my actual name's not on here anywhere, because sometimes they do watermark these for your personal use, and it's personalized to you when you make a publishing, or not a publishing, when you make a purchase. Excuse me. So yeah, here we are. You guys like to play superhero games? This is a superhero game RPG that uses the D20 system, and it has power levels from 1 to 20. I'm pretty sure you can probably make epic power levels. I mean, actually, it only goes up to 20. I'm pretty sure I could probably make a zine for it, write an article on it, put it on my, on a blog for other people to use if they'd like to have epic ass superheroes. There's actually very many supplements to this as well. So a lot of stuff to really go on here. So this game basically starts off with, I mean, I love this art. This is actually very good comic book art. So we're just gonna thumb through it. It basically starts off the basics, starting off with what you need to play the game and how the mechanics work a little bit, giving you a nice introduction into the world of Mutants and Mastermind. How characters are created, so forth and whatnot. Standard to any book, basically. You just get a run through of what is needed and much, much more. And there's a lot of tables in here. A lot of tables, especially because you got to add in a few things. Like, think about it. You may have a strength of 5, a strength rank of 5, which, if you do, that means you're pretty much lifting 1,600 pounds right there. Most people, so this game generates stats a little bit differently, based on what power level you start off at, which in this book has a base level between 5 and 10 for you to start off with. And when you do, you get a certain number of ranks to actually go into it. Me, personally, I like to start off everyone with power level 1. And most NPCs and whatnot you kind of go up against will be power level 0, which only has a few base rules based off of that. I do know for a fact that I piss Witch King off with that quite a many times. Lord, do I piss him off with that. So, yeah. Let me get to the main one where it starts talking about power levels. As you guys did see, the art is actually really, really good. I'm not going to keep thumbing through it so that you guys have to go, if you want to thumb through it yourself, you got to go pick yourself up a copy. It is literally $20 on drivethrurpg.com, or you can go to Green Ronin Publishing yourself, and I think it's still $20 there too. I got both the links actually to this right in my description, so go look with that, go have a look. So then it does get into hero archetypes and hero design, like what's your hero's concept, Guidelines for the Game Master, power levels, abilities, skills, advantages, powers, complications, details, and then finally you get to the Game Master's approval. This is one of the things I definitely wanted to look at with you guys, is the power level. This starts everything off. So power level 20 is the max. Power level 1 for any character is 1. So what you actually start off doing is everything costs a power point. If you want to raise your attributes up, or like say, I think we call them attributes in here. Let me see. I think we do call them attributes. Our abilities. Abilities is not powers. There is actually a fine difference. So your GM sets the starting power level for the series. Generally, this is level 10, but the range does go anywhere from 5 to 20 or more based on, it's actually very easy. Like, you can actually very easily take this above 20. It's basically you add 15, you add 15 to every number. 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is 45. Do the freaking math. So you want to go beyond that, it's 315 people. So there you go. Have fun with that if you want to be at power level 21. Which by then you're probably entering God level at that point. But, who's counting? So, and then there is basic trait costs. Abilities are 2 power points per rank to go up 1. Defense abilities, which is derived abilities or derived attributes, is 1 point per defense rank. Skill is 1 point per 2 skill ranks. So if you spend 1 point in a skill, if you want to put 1 point into skills, you actually get 2 skill points for that to put into skills. Very, very easy once you get this down. Advantages is 1 point per advantage or advantage rank, depending on how much the rank costs, which is also listed in the advantage section. See the book for more details. And then power. This is probably the most complicated part of the entire book. You go to the base effect cost, add the extras if there is any, minus the flaws if there is any, times the number of ranks you want, and then add any flat modifiers if there is any. The most thing that will come out of this is you will have a base effect cost. That much is certain. It will not be set to 0. And then there will be a certain number of ranks you're going to put into it. You're not going to put in 0. So basically 1, 1. But if you add in some extras and some flaws, that's going to mess up the equation. That is probably the most difficult part about this. With the artwork and the information that they do provide here, I do give both thumbs up. However, with how the power cost does work, it is a little derivative and hard to make characters at times. I'm going to give that one a thumbs down. I think it could be a little bit more simpler. That is just my argument with it. So there we go. But as you guys can see, Masked Simple Adventurers from like the Mystery Men era or the Golden Age of comic books start off around power level 8. They give you some ideas here. The suggested starting power level is always going to be 10. The big leads is 12. And the World Protectors, such as those from the Justice League, like Superman, Batman, and all them, power level 14. As you keep going through the book, it actually gives you some ideas once you get past the basics. It does explain to you what each ability does, such as, I believe, it says right here, you have, let me get down to the abilities real quick, because these chapters are kind of long and very informative. It actually really does, it is a good read. It is a long read, I will not lie, but it is a good read. Like I said, I already gave it a thumbs up for information. I can't keep doing that. Alright, so then we get into archetypes. Like, here are some archetypes for you guys. You get into stuff like battle suits. You want to make an Iron Man type character. Booyah. There you go. You want to make a construct character. Android. Red Tornado was based off of that. Oh, yeah. Let's go. You want to make a crime fighter. There's Batman for you. You want to make an energy controller. Starfire. Or let's say the Flaming Torch. How about that one, too? You want to make a Gadgeteer, which is basically Batman and Iron Man. Or, anyone else. I forgot to mention, too, I don't know if I mentioned for the construct right here, this could be Cyborg very easily. Very easily Cyborg. So, a Gadgeteer. This could be Hawkeye or anybody else. Like, you know, you want a character that can fight, that is basically a martial artist. As you can see here, that could be, I don't know who to think of that other than Iron Fist from Marvel. I don't know who was dressed like that in fucking DC. You want a mimic type character like Rogue. There you go. Who observes their powers and mimic them. Doctor Strange for Mystic. There we go. Paragon, Superman. That's definitely Superman right there. Or Sentry from Marvel. You want to make a powerhouse. Which is also insanely like Superman or the Hulk. I'd have to say the Hulk mostly. You want to make a psychic. You know, these are all archetypes. Of course, you can also make up your own archetypes. And then this one's totally the Flash. Or Quicksilver from Marvel. Aquaman. And I don't think we're going to keep going into this. But each one has their own archetype. And, of course, in this game, they actually give you two characters. One that is not a superpower crime fighter, which is the Rook. Right here. John wants to create a hero who's a vigilante type, who's a vigilante type, someone with no superpowers, but has great training. Which you don't have to have superpowers, but they do give a good edge if you can afford them. Crime fighter, the Rook. Here we go. And then this is their character sheet, and then the superpower person is the powerhouse, known as Princess. Who, you know, let's face it, if I think she's 19. Any guy who actually tries to, you know, have prom date sex with this woman is going to be sorry. She has, for God's sakes, let's see, what kind of powers does she have? She has fast speed 4, which means with this she can travel at 30 miles per hour. She has leaping. She can leap at She has leaping at 7. Ugh. She has resilient immunity 5, which is cold, disease, heat, pressure, and radiation. Impervious toughness and regeneration at 2. Wow, that's at 5. So toughness 8 and regeneration at 2. She can heal pretty quick. And unrecognizable features that no one can tell if Jessica and Princess are the same person. So they're kind of like stupid, kind of like in, you know, Superman just has to take out the glasses and they know it's him versus Clark Kent. Oh my God. So these are, you can even randomly roll your archetype. These archetypes include a variable power or require some knowledge of the rules to run effectively, such as Shapeshifter or Summoner or Mimic. Good luck with those. And gives you some ideas about how you can tweak them and make them your own, and basically turn it into your own style character going forward. Alright. So enough sharing there. So like I said, the biggest part, so you get down to so that covers basically the basics in Secret Origins. Then we get down to the abilities. The abilities, which has a huge table of going right here. From -5 to 20. So I think I have a character that's like -3. Has a -3 in a few of his abilities. But that's only because I wanted some of his other abilities kind of higher up. These cost, okay, so to raise from 0 and to go from 0 to 1, that's going to cost 2 points. From 0 to 2, that's going to cost you 4 points. So so I started off with a power level 1 character because I like to play through my characters' backstories. I don't know why. A lot of people will tell you, you probably just don't know how to play the fucking game. Whatever. I don't care. I'm the GM, and everyone's seen my GM styles. Oh, there's a wild card book for the... Yes. All right. So anyway, so I've lowered some of these abilities because if you go from 0 to -1, you get 2 points added to your power pool. I think I added 6, so that way I can hire up some of these other ones. Because not only did I do that, I also created some superpowers for him too, which also cost power points. Everything costs power points. But your abilities are strength, intellect, stamina, awareness, agility, presence, dexterity, fighting, and that's pretty much about it. And then you can alter your abilities, or you can make them stronger, or you could basically have debilitated abilities, which some people may or may not do. You know, it depends on what you want for your first time. Because when you level up in the GM, when you hit a certain milestone in the GM's stuff, they're supposed to give you a level. And when you level up, like say from 1 to 2, you get 15 additional points. So to actually add to your character. So it's kind of worth to me playing like that, because hell yeah, we actually get 15 points, and we can actually take away our weaknesses. And you know, that's also a good way to create a weakness for your character. Then you get into defense ranks, which is dodge, fortitude, parry, toughness, and will. You guys can get the book and read for each one. Each one of those to raise from 0 to 1 and put a 1 in it is actually 1 point. 1 power point. And then they actually tell you how each one works. And then, of course, you do have initiative. Which, in every game, you have initiative. Then we get into the skills, where we talk about skill ranks, ability modifiers, and critical successes. Going from, now, each skill to get 2 skill ranks, 2 skill points put into any skill you want. You don't have to put it all into one skill. Just to get 2 skill ranks for your skills, you just got to spend 1 power point. Skills also have an acquired total between how many points you put into them, plus the ability modifier that they are paired with. So, a lot of fun with that one. But yet, so skills are kind of easier to hire up. And of course, your skills are going to be acrobatics, athletics, close combat, deception, expertise, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, persuasion, range combat, sleight of hand, stealth, technology, treatment, and vehicles. So a lot of good stuff here. Plus, there's stuff in here for the GM to know about how difficult going through certain things will be, and what the DC is added to, or goes up to, for them to do that. So good luck. Good luck on reading that, because that's actually, I think that's the best read of all, besides the powers, which we are now getting to. Then you get to select from 4 or 5 different types of advantages: combat advantages, fortune advantages, general advantages, and skill advantages, which each has their own separate list of tables and what not to go through. I keep saying that, what not to go through. Alright, finally, we get down to the powers. Now, this is a little bit more math crunchy here, because you have to be very careful and got to make sure that the powers that you are picking are well within the realm of the mechanics, which generally they are. You just got to figure out which ones they are. For instance, if you want a character that has invulnerability like Superman, I made up a character who was like that, and I actually had to figure out what is needed to be done regarding that. That took me a little bit of extra time, because unfortunately, that kind of power does get a little costly. And it's not, and for the character being a power level 1, I had to basically dull it down a little bit. But you get to go through a series of a few tables, such as power effects, and each power effect or base cost of that power does cost a certain number of ranks. They usually range anywhere from 1 to 5. So it'll be 1 to 5 per rank. They do get very costly, but it's also depending on how powerful you are. You can add or change the powers and how they work a little bit by adding in a few things called extra, which will actually change how the power works just a little bit. But that also costs a little bit more, because it could take into there's a lot of things that it takes into effect that we're not going to get into, because I'm trying to keep the stream small. And if you know what, I may have to do a workshop on this going forward. But then, let's say that you got this all-powerful ability, but it's beyond costly. You can add a few flaws to it as well. Flaws are stuff that actually is kind of weaknesses towards your powers, or limit your powers' capabilities. Granted, that doesn't sound as fun, But the easiest part about that is it actually brings down the cost because if you add in the base cost, how many ranks you want this power to work at. Like, say you choose something that's going to cost you like five power points per rank, and you want it at least at 3 ranks. That's 15 right there. If you add an extra, that could go up to 10. So you're gonna, you're already working beyond a very costly power. So you add a flaw that takes away from that and dulls down the cost a little bit, possibly to like say 3 or 4 per rank. Like I said, very, very difficult, but once you can kind of get the math down, it's actually not so bad. This was kind of a little bit of a difficult thing for me to get around. That's why I give this part a thumbs down. But then again, it wouldn't be a superhero game if it wasn't, at least a little difficult. The way I would have actually have figured it out to be a little bit different is there are other superpower games that D6 did with DC and Marvel years ago. Of course, because I think that was done through West End Games. The books are definitely not available anymore. And this book still is available. So, yeah, I don't think those were a lot easier. I actually did get a chance to play them back in the day, but now with this, unfortunately, this is the most that we have. So, like I said, I think the designing of the powers could be a bit more simpler, but that is just my argument. Going forward from there, the book does provide equipment, gadgets, gears, and actually tells you how to make up your own gadgets and gears for your character. Nothing you'd have to roll for. You would just have to talk to your GM about and get whatever GM approved stuff that you need. And then you do have how the mechanics work. And then the final chapter, game mastery. I believe there's only 9 or 10 chapters, but the last 2 chapters are actually for the game master only to read. And it does actually give a short adventure, 2 short adventures, but it also tells you a little bit more about the world, such as about Freedom City and many, many more. I will say this, creating your own adventure in this universe might be a little bit difficult, especially if you don't have some of the exact lore supplements and whatnot. But overall, it's like every other RPG, and the GM should be open to the players as well as should be open-minded with how he wants his world to act, work, and where, what kind of story he's going to tell his in his campaign. So I may have to give an example of that because I have been planning to run my own comic book superhero actual play for a while now. It's been on my channel. I just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe I'll get around to it this week. But more on that later on. Other than that, as far as information, the book is well over 300-400 pages and is very much informative as you flip through it. Definitely thumbs up thumbs up art. The only thing is getting around to the mechanics a little bit is not what I would consider, is not my most favorite thing, but it is still there to make the game run, and that's how they designed it, but I am going to give it a thumbs down. If you like my 10-star system, I am going to give this one a 7 out of 10. If you like a 5-star system, I'm going to say 3 out of 5. So, which actually doesn't really add up. That'd be like 3.5 out of 5. If you like half stars, 3.5 out of 5. So, the book is actually fairly priced, so there's more to, that's always a good side to that. So, other than that, that's everything I have at this time. I'd like to thank everybody in chat for joining me today. I hope everyone did find this, this review very informative, and I hope it does entice you guys to actually buy the book. I bought the book, and I have not looked back, so no arguments here. Other than that, I would like to wish everybody a great and wonderful evening, and thank you so much for tuning in. And remember to work hard, play hard, game on, everybody. Have a great and wonderful day.